Good day, everyone, to the Quantum Cafe and the Interstellar Lounge with your host here, the Cosmic Messenger. And hello to all the wild transmutation, multidimensional quantum life forms out there that are tuning in to this broadcast and aligning with its frequency. Just before I get into the current topic of the day, I would like to introduce to you, if you haven't heard of it before, my current read. Hopefully it's flipped in the right direction. Pleiadian Perspectives on Human Evolution by Amora Kuan Yin. So if we take a quantum time warp to bringing this into the now, 1996 was around when it was written, and it is a Pleiadian download information from Ra and the Pleiadian emissaries of light, showing the chronological evolution of our karmic evolution within our solar system. It starts with Venus, where it began, and then it went to Mars Maldek, which is the asteroid belt that blew up, and then on Earth. So I'm currently in Mars, and it's really exciting to get more of what we had been through, and what we are going through in the quantum field. What's the word I'm looking for? In higher human consciousness, humanoid consciousness, right? Our Starseed adventures for when we ended up here on this planet. So that's leads me into what I would like to chat with you guys today, and that is the topic of star karma. So the Quantum Cafe and Interstellar Lounge, I would also like to mention that it is a show that's based on metaphysical tools, ascension and awakening information, downloads and insights that I receive, matrix busting, new activism, all things that have to do with multiverse and interstellar experiences out there in the cosmos. So star karma is a very interesting topic. Now, whether you're aware of it or not, when you leave this body, you will incarnate again, if you choose to. So this life, this body, is only a portion of many of your existences. Now, the field of energy and the dimensions after you leave the body is radically more expansive and different than anything that we will experience down here, and same with coming down here as well. But it is quite a bit more dense, and it has its own parameters that makes up the holographic matrix that we're in. So, star karma, right? So if we're jumping from reincarnation to incarnation to choosing to come into these bodies, as we are navigating ourselves throughout the multidimensional fields, we start to collect galactic and localized karma. So people will say, well, your karma, you picked up this from marrying somebody, which is a fantastic way of having that event take place. It's when you build contracts, you have a child, there's a relationship, there's a DNA bloodline, or a very intense traumatic experience, or habitual or belief system that you draw into yourself, and perhaps you took others in with you. Maybe it was something to do with your own personal spirituality, but more in like a religious form, and you take those things and you're pulling everybody in with you to be with you. So you're creating those karmic contracts with your family, friends. So those are more localized to that current incarnation that you're in. But what a lot of beings have yet to encounter or fully realize is that during these adventures of the karma, which that's why I really like the term star karma, because it also goes off-planetary, it also goes into the spirit world, it also goes past just being here on this planet or this one lifetime on Earth. So as you're going around doing your everyday lives, you're having opportunities to clear, cleanse, and move on and generate new karma. You're not really going to get around the fact that karma is going to be created. It happens all the time. Even if you go hide out completely by yourself and do absolutely nothing for your entire lifestyle, you still have interactions with other people. You're still mixing and melding. Not one person can create literally everything that they need to survive on one homestead by themselves. Now, the possibilities are endless, so that may occur, But then you'd just be in a neutral holding field if you were honestly on a plot of land by yourself. That might be one of the few circumstances where you've generated your own, but you're still generating it with yourself, right? Because it's inner world creates outer, and everything's fractaline, right? So it dances in and out of itself. Okay, so you're going about your day-to-day life, and you're picking up these karmic imprints wherever you go. Now, the cool part about living now is that we have an opportunity with the neutral implant and with wanting to awaken that we can reset a lot of that karma, heal the bloodline that you're currently in right now. It's with your body and how that goes back. Then you can also heal your multidimensional timelines of all the different planets and places you've been. Like, this is the cool part. Why now? Because we're in the photon band. In the age of Aquarius and the age of Leo, on Earth, you enter the photon band, right? We're pinned with Alcyone, and that is the Pleiadian galactic central sun that a lot of people talk about. Now, I'm sure there's more than one of them, but we're moving within that greater circle, moving through the universe, right? Through our galaxy. So at this point in time, everything's hyper illuminated. So you can heal all that right now. That's cool, right? Not only can you do your localized DNA line, the bloodline, you can have all of the codes throughout your DNAs, all the multidimensional timelines you've had, plus everything off-planetary, all gets affected by your choices right now. And if you ask for that reset, to have that, then you can have a neutralized standpoint, and then when you generate new karma, it just works for you. It comes into your field, it's illuminated, it's higher vibrational choices, right? And that becomes a galactic experience. And whether we want to or not, we will eventually at some point have to clear various amounts of karma. Some beings, some humanoids, life forms, creatures have more than others. Nothing is on a higher plane than others in terms of that. It's just a position of where you're working through, what you're working on, from the point of when your soul was born and became accessible for it to incarnate. Things are always there and always is and always was, so the soul is endless. But until we really figure out if they were all born at the same time, they're coming in at different sequences, right? So they're created, and then it goes from that point. So there's no passing judgment on where people are at. It's an experience and an interstellar way of living. It's just where they're at right now. So you're working through all that stuff, and then you realize, whoa, I start to heal some stuff, and then you start to see it in your field around you. Where you go, the people you talk to, the places you are, and maybe even in the realms of wanting to choose more solitude nature time, then you're helping your own self just be very conscious about what new ideas, places, and life that you want to create in this multiverse, especially here on Earth at this time, which is in the cosmos is a very rare event. Okay? So if you tune up your frequencies and you tune into yourself, and you ask for it, and you really want to do the work, and you find a good practitioner to work with, or you're going to spend many years doing your research, looking into this, various energy work field, crystals, the whole bit, all these medicines find you. And along that path, many of them speak of clearing your cleansing, is the word I really like. Cleansing your star karma. And it starts small, and you do it little bit by little bit over time. There's no rush for it. But in this 2,000 plus year period that we're in, it's a good opportunity to kickstart it and move it into high gear. But it is something that you have no idea how long it's going to take. For some people, it's a long process. For some people, it's years. Some people, it's decades, right? With very little karma, it might take only a few months. But once you shift that karma, you're going to notice that your whole world completely alters itself. The people that you are hanging out with, the different ways you interact with them, even if you stay with the same crew, a lot of it will completely shift, and it'll be a whole new arena for you to do all of your day-to-day activities within it. And you also learn a lot about yourself too, because at some points in our incarnation, we have done some of the intense stuff that we have an issue with that somebody else did. We've all been there at some point in various forms and various ways, and collectively we're all unified together in this consciousness, right? Pretty wild stuff. Now, when reading a little bit of this history in this book too, the Palladian perspectives on human evolution that I was telling you at the beginning, the neat but also intense part about this is there's some instances where the higher collective consciousness has spoken for, we would like an event to take place or something to happen so we can learn grander lessons to continue to evolve our soul evolution over souls, right? And sometimes very intense events will happen. In the case of an earthquake coming, people get all shooken up from their survival mechanisms, but really there's a greater purpose behind it. Everything that happens does not happen for no reason. So collectively, that's why we all need to awaken, so that we can share all the insights about what really took place, so we don't pass judgment even on Earth and our Earth Mother, Gaia, and nature itself too. The earthquake hits, and then a whole bunch of souls pass away, and then they get to position themselves somewhere else in the cosmos, or maybe they wanted to come back and have a different, from the lessons they've learned, and then incarnate into another starseed on another planet, and bring in what they had learned beforehand and mix it in, right? And this stuff gets encoded into our DNA and into our cells. You can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lifetimes without paying attention to it at all. But then you're just going to continuously compound it, right? So from the point of awareness, that will stick with you. And you can use that knowledge to bring you forward as you're working on your star karma. These are the very beliefs, habits, and behaviors and patterns that we do with our very lives. But the key ones are the traumatic experiences, the deep emotional content, the ones that bring us ecstatic joy. Moments where we're really wishing we would have shifted something that we did. Like I said, the contracts we make with people, the places we work, the people we interact with, the main catalysts. Now, when we come back and incarnate again, participating in that star karma is you got group karma. So many of the beings, this was a big lesson for myself to learn, was that many of the beings that we've interacted with and had issues with in a previous life, and for many previous lives, were part of that group karma over and over and over again. We might have been best friends with them for 16 lifetimes, and then they stabbed us in the back for one lifetime. We don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. It's a tricky situation how this all navigates. It's best in the moment when something occurs to pull back, offer divine forgiveness, and no longer participate in what's going on. But you know what? You're going to interact with them again. Now, there's also a group of star karma on this planet and other planets as well that they only have the exact same people in their group karma the whole time. So the group before I was sharing with you, it melds and it moves, but you have a lot of the same similarities popping up into the field. Right? They come back over and over again, we share experiences, some new ones come, but there's a group on Earth that has the exact same amount of group karma individuals constantly reincarnating and incarnating and reseeding into the same group. Now, you can choose to opt out of that, but if you stay in with it, it's just another experience, right? Because the universe is full of infinite possibilities. So through that experience, they're working with the same ones over and over again, and that can be some of the toughest work, depending on what you've had, right? But that same person, same being that you have an issue with, that you may have did something to them too, they might have been your dad in a previous life, right? That's where I find astrology, just to recommend in these situations, to go do you get your birth chart read, and if you can work with somebody regularly, you can go deeper into your chart. You can check out the relationships with some of the closest people you have in your life. Then you can also dig deep to find out where in your historical living, all of those nows, find out some of the beings that might have been your father, the interactions that you had with them, the key points that might have been triggers for your galactic adventure, right? I'm really been reading a lot of Cryon books a lot lately too. That series is phenomenal, just fantastical and amazing. It's a ultra cosmic read, and those some of those books have portions of them, right, where they also speak on star karma as well too. Now, you don't need to go hard on yourself when you're doing some of this healing work, and if emotions and sensations come up because things are passing through your auric field and your nervous system or hitting parts of your organs, because we lodge these different elements into the core parts of our being on where, when we're hiding from them or forgetting about them or burying them, they do get lodged. It could be anywhere in the body. And that's where to go easy on yourself, because these emotions are beautiful, traumatic, intense, and sometimes just mystical and magical. And to let them happen and to go through the process. That the amount of work that you can do now and the galactic bonus points that we get from full spectrum healing is off the charts. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys about some star karma and how that really looks. And if you get any visualizations yourself, downloads and insights, or just like thoughts when you're like interacting with a person, that's a key point to pay attention to, because that's giving you your natural insights, your natural wisdom, the divine wisdom inside of you that you know that you have. And that will give you everything you need to work with, know about your star karma. And the cool part about it too, it's not all healing and intense. It's also a portion of it. It's just learning about where you came from, where you're going, and remembering who you are. How cool is that you can go on another planet? I want to go into outer space. I want to leave Earth. You're already in space on this planet, and that's your ship. You got other planets as well too. It's just a small portion of reality here down on Gaia, incarnating at this time, until humans figure out to rebuild something like the rejuvenation station. But then we're going to be living a heck of a lot longer. But we're in the process of cleaning up a bunch of stuff, right? So, thank you all for coming out today and listening to this amazing broadcast. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you get any insights out of this, any of my videos, wonderful stuff, and I appreciate it lots. I also have an album out, Metaphysical album, that's on Bandcamp. So everything I do is the Cosmic Messenger. I also have Society 6 page with energy encoded artwork, the Cosmic Messenger. My name's Derek Pennett as well too. And so you can use those two to type them in. There's a Facebook page for articles and explaining. The videos go in depth here, very in depth, and then my articles are kind of like shorter condensed forms of multidimensional living as well too. And then Instagram, the Cosmic Messenger, Derek Pennett, and you use that to also find photonic key codes and galactic affirmations, right? Change your thoughts, change your reality. So I'll be back on soon. Hope you're all having a fantastical time out there on Earth. Stay safe, stay warm and fuzzy, stay galactic, and no matter what kind of insanity and madness that the powers that are trying to control the planet right now are throwing at us with this everything plandemic, just know that you're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. And that this situation, the true story, is not being told. At least by the mainstream media. Take care out there.